There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
A family portrait. Long before everybody walked around with a camera in their pocket, this was a form of photography meant to capture a person or a group of people's personality by using different lighting, various backdrops, and of course, different poses. It could be artistic or clinical, or basically just a tool to capture a moment in time. Our family portraits growing up were nothing more than us just standing in a row with somebody else taking a picture. Again, this was long before the digital era. This was a space and time captured for the rest of our lives. This was back when we actually sat around together and looked at pictures. Now, pictures and ultra-short videos are usually uploaded instantly to TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, and we glance at them on our phones, and then they end up on our computers, or not, and usually they are never looked at again. This video celebrates various family portraits of old, and of course, the very last family portrait of my family taken in the summer of 2002. But before I get to that, I have some other portraits that I found buried in my backyard. I scanned them and I put together a few slideshows. Anyone who's ever visited my Facebook backyard knows that I really love pictures and the stories that they tell. The first expensive thing I ever bought in my life was my Minolta camera. I love taking pictures. I love capturing the moment. I love the fact that I was literally preserving history.
Blah, blah, blah. I would love it if you would just shut up and show us the damn slideshows so I can get out of here. And let's be real. The artistic value of taking pictures began to slip away when people started taking pictures of their damn food. Really? We used to say grace before we ate. Now we take pictures of our plates. Then, of course, since we all do love ourselves, the obnoxious selfie became a thing. Yeah, I know. There are a few hundred of your own selfies planted in your Facebook backyard. Times have really changed, buddy boy. Roll the tape, Leroy!
Tried to set up good shots with the camera. I really did like working with the Minolta. With my boys, I never envisioned anything like YouTube. Who would, right? But I did take pictures knowing that chronologically, they might turn out to be useful someday.
Yeah, Useful to show that once upon a time, you only had one wife and one family. How many times have you been married now? You're ignoring me now. Roll the tape again, Leroy.
Yes, it happened. My marriage ended, but after 20 years, I should add. And I was involved with what they used to call patch families. Life goes on, man. I made the best of this. I love those kids.
And their moms. You could just never keep it in your pants, could you? I still want to know. How many times have you been married, big boy? Roll the Patch Family tape, Leroy!
Hey, how long have you been in my head already? It has been over 30 years already, right? And there you are, in bed with my girlfriend? Seriously?
Don't try to change the subject. How many wives has it been? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay. I also knew a couple of patch families. Check this out.
That wasn't even funny. And we are getting way off track once again. I have another slideshow of various family portraits, using various props and life situations. Wake up, Leroy. Roll 'em, please. We combined Halloween costumes with Pioneer League baseball game uniforms. We took pictures at the beach, and back then bikinis actually covered the girl's ass. We almost got the kids to stand long enough to take a picture. We used to stack unsuspecting babies on the couch. We pretended to be television wrestling champions. We gathered in tidy groups in front of Dad's regulator clock. We bought ice cream cones, and we hoped they wouldn't melt as we posed for a picture. Christmas morning, we always stood by the tree and hoped the dog would be cool about it. We formed a band so we could get cool costumes for a family portrait. We happily emulated TV's famous and most wonderful Golden Girls. This was so much fun, we actually went out and bought matching jackets. And naturally, some families were relatively small, which is good for the planet. And some families were not that small at all, and this picture doesn't even include everyone. But we all lead busy lives, so it's hard to get everyone together, even at Christmas, for a family portrait.
Pause it right there, Leroy. Just stop the tape. Enough already, man. You always go too far. Just shut up already and play the rest of the slideshow. Is that too much to ask? How about you keep your trap shut and just play that nice song from Barry Glynn, you know, out of Newburyport. Most of these people in this video have their roots in Newburyport. Okay, Leroy, let's try it again.
Away to sea, all the merchant ships they rose above the tide, the rolling tide. They came to be all those glorious vessels they did sail from Newburyport. When the white of his sails billowed high on the wind, and the mizzen master's call was heard on high, when the captain hailed his crew, out on the sea we're home again. Take her away, lads, and let her ride away. Out of old Newburyport, our vessel she will sail. Out on the sea, we're home again. Take her away, me lads, and let her ride the wind. Out of old Newburyport, our vessel she will sail.
That's sorry, but we all loved the Waltons, didn't we? That video was extended family and some Milk Street neighbors. This next video is of my family, various portraits taken over the years. There is usually someone missing in these portraits, and various ex-wives are also seen. Good night, John boy. Yes, we all wanted to be just like the Waltons. Okay, are you finally ready? Have you had enough? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The final portrait of my family. The last time we were all together at the same place at the same time, sharing one final moment in time.
Oh, you're such a drama queen. But it is a good idea. You always start these videos about one thing, and then you go off in a million different directions. I also know the history involving this picture. It was taken at the Great Common in Newcastle, New Hampshire. There was a family cookout, and your father had just turned 70. 70 years old. And there was a big celebration, and even a bigger cake.
Newcastle is such a beautiful place. But growing up, it was also a real special place for us. Because the Pridhams lived there, our cousins. We visited them really often. For us kids, it was like spending a day in paradise. We hung out at the beach. We hung out at the ocean. We sat on the rocks and watched the tide come in and go out. We played games in the yard. And we climbed that huge rock in front of their house. My Aunt Mary was such an awesome cook, and she always cooked for us, all of us, and we're a lot of people. And usually she baked some goodies too. She gave my mother this Newcastle cookbook in 1990, and this is how she signed it. To Helen, for being so kind and loving. Love, Mary. To me, it is very fitting that the final portrait of my family took place in Newcastle and not in Newburyport. It was a magical place, pure and simple. I went back there each and every time I came back home after I joined the Army and ended up not coming home. And ironically, many people took pictures of our family standing together that day. But it was the picture that Denise Pridham took that hung on my parents' refrigerator all those years. The Pridhams were really cool. Check this out.
Playing the Pain, do you remember this rock that used to be gigantic when we were kids? And now it's not so big. So one of the things I'd like to say is always keep your perspective as you journey together through the rest of your lives. And I wish you all the magic of Newcastle.
Denise wishes you great wedding blessings from now until eternity.
Oh, it wasn't really Denise saying that, but I know she means it from the bottom of her big heart.
Wow! Now that was something you don't see every day. That was really different. And so damn cool. That was Denise's sister Kim, right? I really like your American family.
Yeah, man, so do I. Now I actually regret that I did not do any filming that day in Newcastle at the cookout. I just wanted to enjoy the many family members that I haven't seen for so long, and so all I had with me was my Minolta, and I took a few pictures. So all in all, there were only 8 minutes of video footage from that afternoon. I edited out the scenery shots my son took and one chick in a bikini he decided to film. And this is basically all that was left. And just for the record, I do show everyone who I saw in the video in this video. Whoever was actually there and is missing here in the video, they just didn't walk by my son while he was filming. Unfortunately, this time I have no bonus footage. Leroy, are you still with us?
They were getting nervous. That was yours?
Okay, just step up closer and we'll take it up closer. You can have it. We'll just take it.
They're not huge.
She said they're puny.
I mean, comments, right? In the water.
Oh, you're supposed to raindrop! Yeah, Tom. Tom, can I have the tree?
Next to Robin?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Exciting. I used up two.
Alle Freddy's.
Oh! Ready?
I
can't drop you.
Movie.
Can you see me?
Ja. Oh.
It's low tide. Yeah, but it takes an hour for them to warm up. Yeah, then you gotta do it. You gotta take the lens off.
No. Ow.
No spam. No one brought a spatula.
Nobody.
I remember when you used to call her Horace.
We still do. We still do call her Horace.
What is it?
No. Just up. It says it. They found him last night.
You know, so he's still doing the same thing. Look at the corners of way through life. It's just rude.
I can't really sign it. I don't have any Moran family English. Yeah, that was yours?
Can you see my arm hang? Oh.
No, but I bet.
Ah, it is such a beautiful place. And so many family members hanging out together at one time. And that was not even everybody. There were some people missing. So, how did the last family portrait come about?
It beats me. I don't even know whose idea it was. We were rarely complete. My older brother lived in Western Mass for years, and I've been in Germany for a million years. It just didn't happen very often that we were all together in one place at one time. But in this day, we were together, and we stood together, and pictures were taken. Now check this out. This is actually one of the reasons I decided to make this video in the first place. Hey, come on over here. I want to show you something. This is the original picture that my cousin Denise took and sent to my parents on the very same day of the cookout when we took the last family portrait. And my father printed it out. This is the JFK magnet that my mother loved because she loved JFK. For one brief shining moment, Camelot. They both were hanging on the refrigerator at 29 Milk Street. They both were hanging on the refrigerator at the Heritage House. And now it's my honor because now they're hanging on the refrigerator here in Rodenberg, Germany.
Okay, I have to admit, that is wicked cool. I also love the picture of your mom and Aunt Kay as nuns. I know your Aunt Lorraine made it for your mother. She always makes the coolest cards. So, tell me, how do you know this picture is the Virgin Denise?
Later on that same day, we were all back at 29 Mill Street, and my parents were all excited. It seems Denise had sent them this picture, in an email as soon as she got home. This was back in 2002, and my father was blown away by the technology. And I actually have a short video of this very moment. Unfortunately, it's hard to hear him and my mother because the TV was on, and the room was filled with grandchildren. But if you listen closely, my mother gives the picture to Stephen, and she says, "Denise sent this. Isn't it nice?" Dad then says, "Pretty good. By the time we got home, it was on the computer." Then Mom says, "It came out awesome, didn't it? It's a good picture of everyone. I really love it." And you know what? So do I.
You don't have to point at anybody.
That was from Denise sent it on the computer that night.
Pretty good. Yeah, they didn't need the camera by the time we got home. It was on the computer.
Look, it's blue
Came out
new.
awesome, didn't it?
Who wants to sit on it? I
It's a
do.
good picture of everyone.
What TV?
I really love it. Do we have one on the refrigerator too?
So, are you finally going to show how the picture actually came about? How it really happened? How you guys lined up? Who told who to do what? How did you stand where? I want to see it, man. I want to see it now.
So yeah, this is it. This is how we lined up that day in Newcastle. For the very last time, all of us together in this lifetime.
What's up? What do you do during the picture?
Doesn't look alright.
Give us a smile! Or two!
Say good night, Leroy.
Good night, Leroy! No, wait. Good night, Leroy! No, that's not right. Oh. Good night, Leroy. No. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, Leroy. Good night.
Everybody quiet down now. Get some sleep.
Night, everybody.
Good night, Mama. Night, Ben.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Good night, children.
Good night, Daddy. Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night,
Jim Bob. What's going on? I was asleep. What's everybody doing?
Good night.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Leroy. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
When I was young, when I was young, when I was young, when I was young.